Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you've ever stood by the ocean, or maybe a river or lake, and wondered, how do we actually manage and sustain all this incredible life? Well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're diving deep into a really exciting and highly impactful career path. We're going to map out the whole journey of becoming a fishery and aquaculture technician. It's this amazing role where hard science meets nature, and the work you do literally has a direct impact on aquatic life and our global food systems. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the role and your traits, then map out your educational pathway. After that, we'll cover paying for your education, where to study, and job prospects and career growth. Finally, we'll wrap up with a pretty awesome real-world success story. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the role and your traits.
Okay, let's dive into this first step by looking inward for a second. Are you meant for the water? Aquatic and marine science isn't just about, liking fish. It requires a very specific blend of analytical thinking and a deep love for the natural world. You need the right personality traits to really thrive in an environment that relies so heavily on observation, hard science, and getting your hands dirty.
Think of a fishery or aquaculture technician as the ultimate caretaker of an aquatic ecosystem. Your main gig? Stocking, caring for, and harvesting fish. You're constantly monitoring the water, making sure the conditions are absolutely perfect for the fish and other aquatic organisms. You are the one ensuring these incredibly complex underwater worlds stay healthy, balanced, and productive. To pull that off day in and day out, there's a foundational toolkit of personality traits you're going to need. First up, you've got to genuinely like analyzing problems. If the water quality drops out of nowhere, you need to figure out exactly why and fast. Second, you need to be comfortable working in groups. This is a super collaborative field. Third, you've really got to enjoy working outdoors, because you definitely won't just be sitting behind a desk. And finally, attention to detail is absolutely crucial. A tiny shift in pH or temperature, that matters immensely in aquaculture. Okay, moving on to Section 2, your educational pathway. So, the crucial point here is understanding how your education actually branches out. It all kicks off with Step 1, finishing your 10+2 in the science stream, specifically focusing on physics, chemistry, and biology. From there, the path splits a bit. For Step 2, you could get a general BSc, actually scratch that. You need a BSc specifically in industrial fish, zoology, or chemistry. You'd follow that up with a diploma in aquaculture management or fish products technology. Or, the other route is going straight for a Bachelor of Fishery Science, a BFC, and then following that up with a master's, an MFC in a specialization like aquaculture or fish processing. Oh, and a quick heads up, if you're leaning toward that BSS route, you're going to have to clear state-level entrance exams. Every state handles their own, so just make sure you prep specifically for the exams wherever you're planning to enroll.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, paying for your education.
Let's be real. Education costs money, and there's a massive contrast in course fees here. On the low end, you might be looking at around INR $5,640, but on the high end, it can soar up to INR $400,000. That is a wild variation, right? It totally depends on the institute, which is exactly why getting your financial planning locked down early is so important.
But don't worry, there are some fantastic, dedicated financial support tools available to you. Need a scholarship? Check out the National Scholarship Portal for central, state, and merit-based schemes. Looking for a loan? The Vidya Lakshmi Portal is a brilliant resource backed by the government and the Indian Banks Association. Plus, pretty much all universal banks offer education loans to help you bridge the gap.
And here's a pretty amazing geographic perk you might not know about. Certain states, like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar, actually offer student credit cards with really low interest options. If you live or study in one of these states, definitely take advantage of this to help offset those tuition fees.
Let's shift gears to Section 4, where to study.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing just how spread out these programs are across the country. This is only a tiny sample, but whether you're eyeing government institutes like Asutosh College in West Bengal or fisheries colleges in places like Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Bihar, or Rajasthan, or maybe private ones like Sacred Heart College in Kerala or Centurion University in Odisha, the point is the educational infrastructure for this field is huge and super accessible.
Also, if you're someone who needs a bit more flexibility and can't be on a traditional campus full-time, there are distance learning routes. The Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNU, offers programs that are a total lifesaver for non-traditional schedules.
All right, Section 5, Job Prospects and Career Growth. So what does your day-to-day actually look like once you graduate? Well, you're not boxed into one setting. You might be in a central lab, working in the fish processing industry, or out on aquaculture farms and hatcheries. Usually, it's a 5 to 6 day work week, roughly 7 to 8 hours a day, and yeah, shift systems are pretty common. Another really wonderful thing about this field is that it's highly inclusive, with plenty of real opportunities for differently abled individuals to build incredible careers. To put things into perspective with some hard numbers, the starting salary for a fisheries technician usually hovers between INR $19,000 and $25,000 a month. That's just your starting point, though. As you get more experienced, there's a lot of room to climb.
Let's move to and see how this builds over time. You've got a really clear, structured upward trajectory. You might kick things off as a laboratory technician, put in the time, and you move up to assistant technician. Then you hit full fisheries technician, and eventually you can step up into a leadership role as a senior fisheries technician.
And finally, Section 6, a real-world success story.
Look at the awesome story of Theo Johns. His journey didn't even start with a super specific focus. He actually started out studying broad foundational sciences, physics, chemistry, human biology, and maths, and got a general degree in environmental science. But he found his calling, got specialized training in aquaculture, and landed a technician role at the National Lobster Hatchery over in the UK.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real, tangible impact you can have in this career. Theo didn't just show up and do a job. He actually helped re-establish the hatchery in Newlyn after it had been closed for years due to a lack of funding. He literally helped breathe life back into a struggling marine facility. That is the kind of game-changing work we're talking about here.
So the only question left for you is, are you ready to make your own splash in this field? Thank you so much for exploring this awesome career path with us today. I really hope this explainer has inspired you to take that first step toward the water. Catch you next time.